You're watching TelecomTV's exclusive video coverage of the first ever OPNFV Summit held here in San Francisco. And I'm joined now by Prodip, who is CTO Network Functions Virtualization at Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. Prodip, thank you for joining us on TelecomTV again. OPNFV, the O's open. Why open? And in the context of open for NFV, what does open really mean?
All right. So, it's an overloaded word, but the users of what we are producing here at OPNFV, which is NFV software, systems which enable NFV, the users are the telecom companies, the telcos. For them, openness has been in their requirements for a very long time, and the way they expressed openness was in terms of standards, and behind that is the notion of interoperability. So to carriers, open means interoperable. Now, the way they realized it in the past is through standard development organizations, getting people together to work on standards for some time and agreeing on things, and then people would build to those standards. What has happened with our industry is it's become very fast moving. Services are changing, customer behavior is changing, traffic patterns change, and we need new things in the telecom networks at a faster pace. And to get to that interoperability with these new things, following the old standards approach is just not viable. The time frames don't match. I don't have 5 years to do a standard. And so some of us who were working to launch this NFV movement, after a couple of years of getting together and trying to figure out what needs to be done, we decided to investigate open source as a way to achieve that interoperability and openness in a much faster way. And so that's what we are about. OPNFV is an attempt to achieve that interoperability using open source rather than the traditional standards organization.
So the most critical aspect of an NFV solution to be regarded as open is going to be the interoperability aspect.
Yes, the interoperability, and it goes a little beyond what the traditional telecom industry interoperability was about. And the reason is with virtualization, with bringing cloud technologies into the telecom networks, what we've done is a lot of disaggregation of the piece parts which built the old network. So things which were in single boxes have been split up into smaller boxes, lots of software running in different places. And so once you start to disaggregate the things which created those elements which created the system, now I need interoperability at a much finer level. And what that means is if I try to follow the standardization path, not only do I take a long time building the traditional standards, I need to build standards between many different components. And so the challenge here is how do you actually build systems using open source to build it faster, to bring people together, to build these complex systems and achieve this interoperability and standardization without having to go through the normal standardization process. So using the modern methods of software development, agile development, translating that into the standardization world, so to speak, and saying, let's try something, doesn't work, we'll try something else, and we'll make it work.
Is it really possible to get a commercial NFV solution architecture deployed that is fully built out of open source components?
So the other industries who've been ahead of us in this game in open source, the whole web industry, so to speak, has been at this for a while, and they have achieved phenomenal success. As we know, we all use their systems and their software on a daily basis, and it's commercial grade for those kinds of services. So yes, there is a way. There are other industries who have tried this and know how to do it. And I don't see why this cannot be applied to the telecom industry.
For a lot of telecoms executives, open source and open is a bit of a scary word.
Yes, open is a scary word for telecom providers, or apparently scary word. But the critical thing to note is that for some years now, open source has been in their networks. A lot of the equipment providers or providing equipment use Linux software, for example, in their systems. So there's just one example. There are many other examples of people who have built software systems, network elements built on open source components and have provided them to the carriers. The carriers don't see it because it's hidden inside, but it's there. And so the suppliers to the telecom companies have been able to make open source work. And so there are a lot of examples of this success. And the question is, can we build on that and take it to the next level where we are really not just using open source in little pockets and surrounding it with proprietary software? Can we build whole large-scale systems out of this and then add on things which add value to it, which perhaps may not be available in open source?
Final question to you. This is the first OPNFV Summit. It's very well attended, oversubscribed, in fact, this first one. What gives you the confidence that this is the right approach, this is where we put all our effort and attention, or a lot of our effort and attention? Why do you think that OPNFV is a winning solution?
So I think what you just said, the fact that this is our first summit and almost the number of people who are attending are double the number we expected. So that by itself shows that this is a place people want to come, want to participate, want to learn. And I think that shows that we're doing something right. We've been at it for a year. We've done a software release and a patch release after that. But more importantly, we've built a community who are really producing the kind of systems we need and who are working together, coming from very different backgrounds, different companies, working together to achieve this. And I think with the whole NFV movement, it's all about ecosystems, because I think everybody recognizes that no one company can do all of this themselves. So there have been partnerships developing, ecosystems developing on their own with individual companies sponsoring those. But this is an attempt where we bring everybody together in a sort of neutral environment and allow people to work together to serve the common goal of building these systems which carriers need. So I'm very encouraged about the progress we've made in the year. And so when we started this a year ago, it was a promise, a risk. Some of us took the leap and said, okay, we need to form this, and we think this is the right way. I think the year's progress has proved us right. And given the interest we're seeing among others who are coming to join us at events like this, seems to confirm that what we started is the right thing to do. The last 2 days today is the start of the conference, the summit, but the last 2 days was an OPNFV Design Summit, which was more of a developers event. And I was really surprised at the attendance here. We didn't have enough chairs, we didn't have enough space in the rooms where the discussions were going on. So I'm very encouraged at the signs of where the community is right now.
Prodip, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for having me. It was a good conversation.